Okay, so this is the next video into the continuation of the fast API series. So till now we have covered 23 videos, and from last 3 videos like 21, 22, 23, we are like looking how to do the authentication and the authorization, right? So we have like in the last video we created the JWT token, right? So user has entered the username and the password. We verified the we verified the username from the database as well. We verify the password and we created the token. Now we have the token with us. So if what we can do with the token once we have the token with us, right? So first let me activate the environment. Okay, so let me start the app just to show you how the app looks like till now. So app has been started. So let me go to the local host 8000 and to the document. So we have like implemented the authorization part, and it is like properly working, but the problem is in the we have also put the authorization part into like a post item and put and delete, because right now I am not login, right now I am not login. So if like someone unauthorized user try to create a post, so let me try to create a post without login. So if I execute it, it give me that you are not authenticated. So authorization part like not authorization is authentication part. So we are authenticating itself. So authenticating part like we have implemented, but let me log in. So we have one user, so you can create a new user from the create user, and there is no login to this. So example@example.com example. I hope this user exists. So I have logged in, right? So I have logged in. So now if I try to like create a item, so let me example item, this item created by example user, alright. So if I execute it, and item got created, and if I go to the database and if I execute the query, so query is running. So now like where is the example item is here, and like by default like owner ID is giving us 3, but if I go to the users, we use the example@example.com. so example.com is the owner ID 15, but by default in the item tables it is coming as a 3. So by default here it is coming as a 3 because we have like hard coded the owner ID. Alright, so now we will not hard coded that owner ID because we have the token. So token contains the user information. So now whoever is the author and whoever will try to insert the item, only the ID corresponding to that user will be get inserted. Alright, so rather than here 3, whatever the ID for the example@example.com user, I think that is 15. So let me open again query tool. Select star from, so it is under public schema, public, and what is the table name, dot users. Execute public. So example@example.com, the owner is 15. So ideally here the 15 owner ID should be get inserted, right, because this item is created by user ID 15, but here we are getting 3. So how we can like correct this, right? So it means like whatever the user will be create the item, so corresponding to that user ID will like insert here. So how to implement that? So now we have the, so let me terminate this. So we have the token in our hand, right? And I told you from the token we can like get the information. Let me again show you. So let's suppose this is the token. So from the token itself we can get the information as well, and this information we have like in a form of a key data, key value pair. So there is a one key that is called a SUB. SUB means subject, and this subject will always remain unique, right? And in our case email is the unique. So and in our case we are like passing the subject as an as an email, because in the form data when we authorize it we pass we pass the email as an username is the our email. So that is our unique. Okay, so we have to implement this. So how to implement, we will see that. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so let me go to the routers and let me open the items. So here we are like in the create item, because we have to implement that logic into the create item, put item and the delete item, and all the three logic will be remain same. But first we implement into the post item, like into the create item, right? So the create item will build what will took like it will like take as a token as an argument. Now we have the token. So token is is encoded. So we have to first decode the token, because that token contains the particular email. So what basically like we will do, so I have like created one diagram. So we have the token, and token contains the particular email, but token is like in the encoded form. So we have the token. What we will do, we will decode the token, and so once the token will be get decoded, we will get the email. So if we have the email ID with us, so if we have the email ID with us, so corresponding to that email ID we will like run a select query into the users table, and we will get the the ID of the particular email, right? So if we get the ID, then that ID we will pass into the create. So here we are passing the owner ID is equal to 3. So like below that everything will be remain same, but we will get the owner ID from this table, right, corresponding to that email. And from where we will get the email, from token we will get the email, but token is encoded. So we have to first decode the token, right? So let me clear it. Okay, so to encode the token we are using the Python JAWS. So Python JAWS module, right? So I told you like we will use the Python, because there are so many module, so we can like use any module. So we are using the basically Python JAWS module. And if you go to the repository and if you go to the usage, so they told that how to decode that. So to decode that we have to pass the token, we have to pass the secret key, we have to pass our algorithm, right? So okay, so now we have the token. So first we have to decode the token, because we want the owner ID, right? And how the owner ID will be get? First we have to fetch the email from the token. Okay, do one step by step. So get the so first we decode the token. So how to decode the token? JWT dot decode, and in bracket we will pass the token. But what is JWT? We have not like imported. So from JAWS import JWT. Fine. So we will decode the token, but it will not like take the token only, but it will take the secret key plus algorithm. And secret key and algorithm we have defined into the configuration file, because these are like configuration things. Nano config.py file. So secret security key, not a secret. Security key, it's a secret key. I think it is a secret key. It is a secret key. It's not a security key. Secret key. I think it is a secret key if I'm not wrong. Let me cross check once. 1 minute. Yeah, it is a secret key only. How I did this wrong? Anyhow, so let me correct that. It's a secret key and it is algorithm. So I have fixed that, and in the .env file it is a secret key, not a security key. Secret key. Control X, enter. And let me check the routers as well, because we have implemented the login.py file. So but in the login as well, like I am importing the, I'm using the security key. It's secret key. It should be the secret, right? So it is a secret key. And now everything is fine. So here like we get the token as well, right? Okay, so everything is done. So now we have to get the secret key, but secret key is defined into the settings. So first we import that from config, import setting. It's settings or setting. Let me cross check. Nano config.py, it's setting. So from config we will import the setting, and we will pass the secret key, setting dot secret key, and we will pass the we have to pass the algorithms, right? So algorithms is equal to setting dot algorithm, right? So what it will return as the payload, right? So what it will return, let me show you. So if we give our token and if we decode the token, so in the decode what it will return, so mainly we will get the payload data. So this payload data we will get, right? So like there could be reason like many times like it gives some error, so better we will put in some try block, try and accept block. So we have like writing into the try and the accept block, accept exception as E, and we will like raise some exception. So let pass here for the time being, but we are writing into the try and accept block. If you don't write, it's okay, but let's try to, because here we are using the decode function, so maybe like it will unable to decode, so maybe it will give some JWT error. So that's why like we are putting into the try and the accept block. Now we have the payload. So we get this payload. Payload means all the things, and in the payload which field is the email. So email is our SUB field, so we have to get this particular field, right? So this is a dictionary, and how to get the dictionary key. So username is equal to payload dot get, and which key I have to get, sub. So there is a sub key SUB, and I have to get, so this is basically a like Python dictionary method, like payload dot get. So payload is a dictionary, and using the get method we can get the particular key. So now we have the username, but let's suppose if username, so we are just like handling some like boundary scenarios. Let's suppose if username is run, what we will do, we will raise an HTTP exception, and we will set the status code whether you will do this or not, like it is okay, but like whenever we write the code now, we have to like handle the boundary condition as well, because not every time like everything will be run fine. So status dot http 401 unauthorized, right, and detail, give me some detail. We can say unable to verify credentials. So something, this is any some message, right? Okay, if username is run, then we are like raising an exception. If username is not none, so we get the email, right? So we get the email, but we want to get the owner ID. So how to get that owner ID? So if username is not none, then what we will do, we will get the user. And how to get the user? db.query, it is in the user table, but we have to like import the user table as well. From model we have the item, so we will import the user table. We will run a query onto the user table, right, and we will filter the user dot email. So let me show you again. So we are running a query onto the user table, and we will filter like we will put the where clause on the email field. So users dot email, so user dot email, and this email equal should be the one which we get from the token. So from what email we will get from the token? So username, because sub keyword contains the email, though even it is called as a username into the data, because like our this OAuth form has the username field, but not the email, but we will call it as an email, right? So we are getting like this, and let's get it first. So we get the username. So okay, so filter is equal to, so we have got the username. And so here, if let's suppose if the jwt.decode gives some error, we will also raise an HTTP exception. HTTP exception, status code status.http 401 unauthorized, detail is equal to unable to verify credentials, right? But what we want the owner ID. So till now we got the user. So how to get the owner ID? Okay, so we get the user. So how to get the owner ID? So basically we got the user, so owner ID should be user.id. Okay, so this is the ID field. So user.id will give us the owner ID, and that owner ID we will pass here, right? So let's test this. So do we need to do anything else? No, I think we are raising the, if username is not none, so there is a username, and it will get the username, so it will get the user, and user.id is equal to owner ID. It will get the user. If username is not none, let's suppose if user doesn't exist, then it will like so let's put like one more condition here. So because let's suppose they have like entered some different email into the token, they have like passed some fishy token, and that contains some email. So email is exist, but that email doesn't exist into our database, so user will be get like none. So if user is none, let raise an HTTP exception. HTTP exception status code status dot http 401 unauthorized, detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. Yeah, so if user is none, then it will raise an exception, otherwise like it will go forward and it will like get the owner ID. So let's test this first only. UVCon main app -- reload. So application has been started. Okay, so let me close this, and let me refresh it. So application has been started. So we have like right now we have not like authenticated. So if we try to create an item, execute it, and if I try to create an item, it will say that like you are not authorized user, you are not authenticated. So first you have to authenticate yourself. So let me authenticate myself, and if I give example @example.com, and here I give example, so I have like authorized myself. So now authorization has been done, so token will be generated. So if I now create a post item, so let's suppose example user item. Right. So if I create this and if I execute it, now like item get inserted, but we have to verify like into the database whether still it will take like the 3 as an owner ID, or it will take because for the example user the owner ID is 15. So this new item should be like inserted with the owner ID as 15. So yes, now it is inserted as a 15. So if some another user come, so let me log out. So I have logged out. So let me create a new user. So let me check what all user has been there. Test1 @test.com is there. Okay, so let me try with the test1. I think for the test1 the password is test only, rather than not creating the user. Let me authorize it, test1 @test.com, and I think the password is test1. No, password is not test1. What is the password here? Test is the password. No, let me create the new user. So okay, never. So let me create a new user better. So where we are, we have to create a new user. So we are in the item tab. Sorry, we have to create a new user. Try it out and let's create a new user. So user1 @user.com, and it's user1. Password is user1 @user.com. Execute it. So it's created. So if I go to the database and if I execute it, so user1 has been created with the owner ID 18. So let me log in. User1 @user.com, user1, and authorize it. Now I am authorized. Now let's try to create an item. So never. So let's try to create an item. So user1 item, created by user1. Execute it. So it's inserted. So its ID is 18. So the new item should be have owner ID 18. So now the owner ID is 18. So now whatever the user, who is the user, the corresponding whatever the post or whatever the item that user will be created, only that particular user ID will be like inserted here. So we have fixed this. So we have like actually implemented the authorization. So only the particular user can create their own item. So this is a bit basically the authorization part, but still we have not put the authorization part into the put and the delete method, because like any user can like delete the post. So let me like check what is the post for the, so let's suppose like there is a user number 10 and item ID is 6. Say if I get the item ID, try it out, item ID 6, execute it. So I get the item ID detail. So but right now I am logged in with the, right now I am logged in, right? So I am logged in with user 1. So what is the user 1? So user 1 has the user 1 has the like owner ID 18, but we are trying to delete an item which is created by the owner ID 10. Ideally the other user should not able to delete any other item, but here because we have not implemented the authorization means this user is not authorized. You are authenticated, you are created, but you have not like authorized. So if I try to delete the 6 item, if I try execute it, I am successfully able to delete the item. And if I try to refetch it, it says that the item 6 doesn't exist, right? So this is wrong actually. Like item 6 is created by some other user, but how the user 1 can able to delete the item which is created by the another user? So ideally user 1 should able to delete only those item which is created by the user 1 only, and this user it should not like able to delete the other user item. So again we have to implement the authorization part with like on the put and the delete method. So how to like perform the authorization? Exactly the same logic, So go to the CD routers, nano items.py file. So we have to implement exactly the same logic. So how to copy here? I'm not sure what is the command to copy. It is saying the M6, but I'm not sure what is M6. Command to copy in nano editor. Copy paste cut. To copy the mar test, alt plus cap. Let me try. So I have alt plus cap. No. It is setting the mark only. Mark and set no. I'm not sure how to do that. Copy 1 minute. Control U. No. Unable to copy. Anyhow, so let me rewrite the code again. No problem. So now we have to like implemented the same logic into the like put method, because or rather than the put method, first implement into the delete, because like anyone able to delete the item right now, because like there is nothing like that. So anyone can like able to delete the item, but we will not allow this. So what we will do, we have the token. So we will check whether the particular item which the user is trying to delete is created by the particular user or not. So how to get the user? So we have the token. So we have to get the payload first. How to get the payload? jwt.decode, same method, and we will accept the token, and from the setting we will accept the secret key, and we have accepted the algorithm, and it is a algorithm, and it is algorithm or algorithms. So I think it is algorithm only, algorithms, sorry. So it is basically algorithms, because like we can like decode the token using multiple algorithm as well. So setting dot algorithm. All right, so we have to get the username from the payload dot get, and the username like is basically the email which is in the sub keyword. So if user name is none, so we will raise an exception. Raise exactly like I am like writing the same code. So status code is equal to status dot http underscore 401 unauthorized AUTHO unauthorized, and detail is equal to, what is this, detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. All right, so if username is not none, so let get the user db dot query on the user table, because we have the email, so email is in the user table. So filter by user dot email is equal to email dot first. So we get the user here. Let's suppose if user is none, we will raise an HTTP exception. Status code status dot http underscore 401 unauthorized, and detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. Right, so yeah, so that, so but we have to write the accept block as well. Accept exception as E, and let raise a HTTP exception. Exception status code is equal to status dot http 401 unauthorized, detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. Right, so that is fine. So now we have the user, so we get user means, so we have like a whole key. Let's suppose like I enter the email as user one dot, so after getting the query I get this whole row like ID, email, password is boolean, but I need only the ID field. So how to get the ID field? So if user is none, so if user is not none, so if user is not none, fine. So what we have to do is basically, so now we have the we have the user, so we can get the ID as well. So we are fetching the item, so whatever the item user is going to delete here. Okay, so first check whether the particular item exists or not. Okay, but if it exists, before deleting it we will check if existing item, like whichever the user is going to delete. All right, existing item dot owner ID, because in the items table we have the owner ID. So whatever the item user is trying to delete, first we will check whether this owner ID is equal to user dot ID. So what is the user? User is our, like from the token we will get the user field, like whether it is equal to the user dot owner ID. If it is equal, then we will say you can delete it. If it is and, we will commit it and we will return the message. But if it is not like equal, then we will return a message. What is the message? You are not authorized. So I wrongly put this bracket here. So you are not authorized, right? So basically, like, all the thing is same. We have repeated the code, but ideally, because every time like this long code is getting repeated, so I have to like create a different function, and I have to like put all this code into a one function, rather than repeating every time like all the code in all the routes. And we have to call that function which will return the owner ID. But let's try to check whether like a delete item is like functioning or properly not. UV-con main app -- reload. Something is wrong. Is username, so it is if username. So cd routers nano items, so it should be in the delete route. Where is okay, here it is. It should be if. Fine, clear. Let me check if there is any other error. UV core main app -- reload. So application has been started. So let me close this and let me refresh it. So let me first authorize myself. So with the user1 @user.com and the password is user1. Authorized. So I have authorized it. I have authorized myself. Now user1 has owner ID 16. Sorry, this is a title table. So user1 has owner ID 18. So corresponding to the 18, so the particular user can delete only item number 16, but not any other item. So let's try to delete any other item. Let's suppose I try to delete item number 10. First check whether the item number 10 exists or not. So try it out. Execute it. So item number 10 exists. Now I am logging with the user number 1, but user number 1 trying to delete the item number 10. So it is trying to delete the item which is created by some another user. So let's see whether it is able to delete or not. So they told that unable to verify credentials, and this is wrong. Credential is okay. Something is wrong. It should not be unauthorized. It should be cd routers nano items.py file. So something is wrong. We are getting the jwt.decode, we are getting the token, we are getting the secret key, we are getting the algorithm setting.algorithm, we are getting the username. Let me try to print the username. Print username, whether it is reaching till this point or not. So let me re-execute it, and if I check what the username it is saying, so username is coming user1 @user.com. that is fine. It means it is not failing. It is not failing at this point. So username is not none. Now we are user db.query user filter user.email is equal to user.email is equal to email, not email, but username equal to username. Okay, now let's try to execute. So it says that you are not authorized because I am user1 and I am trying to delete the some other item which is created by some another user. So we are not authorized. But if I try to delete item number 16, so which is created by user 1 only, so let's check whether the item number 16 exists or not. So item number 16 exists. So item number 16 exists, right? So let's try to delete the item number 16. Item number 16, execute it. So item number 16 has been successfully deleted. So if I retry to fetch, execute, so now it says the item number 16 doesn't exist. So we have like added the authorization functionality. We have added the authorization functionality into the delete method as well. So now try to implement the authorization functionality into the put method. So only those items user can modify which is created by the user itself. So same logic we will apply, that is try block. So we have the token, from the token we will decode the token. So using the jwt.decode, so we have to decode the token and it will like accept the secret key, it will accept the algorithms, setting dot algorithm. So right, so if once we get the payload, so this is basically a dictionary. So we will get the email from the payload dot get, and it is in the sub keyword sub key. So we will check if username, I am rewriting is only, if username is none, then we will say raise http exception status code is equal to status dot http 401 unauthorized, and detail is equal to unable to verify credentials, right? Then we will try to get the user. If username is not null, then we will try to get the user, user. So db.query, from the user table we will filter by email, filter by user dot email is equal to username, because username contains the email field, and dot first. So now we have the username. If user is none, then we will again raise an exception, raise http exception status code is equal to status dot http 401 unauthorized, and detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. Fine. So then otherwise like we will get the, so we get the owner. So what we will check, so if the item which the user trying to modify, whether this item exists or not. So if it not exist, then we will mention the okay, the item doesn't exist. If it tried to otherwise, what we will say, like if existing item dot first, because this is just a query, so using the first keyword we will get the whole row. For that existing query, if the owner ID of the particular item is equal to user dot id, if that is equal, then only the particular item get updated. Otherwise it will say return message you are not authorized, right? So let's save it and let's try to implement that. Existing item, invalid syntax. Why invalid syntax? Line number 50 line number 59. So let me open with minus L just basically to show the line number 59, existing item. Okay, it should be under this only. Okay, I forgot to put the accept block, sorry for that. Exception as E, raise HTTP exception, status called is equal to status dot HTTP underscore 401 unauthorized detail is equal to unable to verify credentials. Hope everything is fine now. Yeah, application has been started. So user 1, okay, let me check. So let's create some new user. So let me refresh it, localhost. So let me create two users. User2 @ user.com and password is user2. Okay, so let me create it. So user2 has been created. Let me create the user3 as well. So user3 also has been created. Now try to log in with first user2 @ user.com user2. So I am authorized, I am authenticated. So never. Now let me first create an item, user2 item, description, and it's inserted. So if I verify it, so let me first check the users. So in the user field we have the user2 and user3, and user2 has 19 and user3 has 20. And if I go to items, so this user2 is 19, and that's why the 19 is coming here now. So user2 is fine. So let me log off and let me log in with the user3. So I am authenticated. Now try to create the item, user3 item description. What is this here? So user3 item has been created. So if I refresh it, user3 item has been created and the owner is different, right? Now I am right now logging with the user3, but let me try to modify this item, user2 item, just to cross check whether I am able to modify or not. So first let me retrieve it, because on the retrieve anyone can retrieve any item because there is no lock. So what is the item number? 17 for user2, but right now I am logging with the user3 only. If you want to check, you can check here. So it is user3 only. So item number 17 exists, which is created by the user2 only, but let me modify it. So this second method we have not updated, but this first method we have updated. So let me try out. And what is the item ID? Item number 17. So let me try to update user 2 item updated by user 3. User 2 item description updated by user 3. Whether user 3 can update the item or not. No, you are not authorized. But if it is tried to, can it update their own item, that is item number 18? Hopefully yes. User 3 item, so giving some description and execute. Details for the item 18 successfully updated, and if I fetch the item 18, execute it. Now user 3 item updated by the user 3. So we have successfully implemented the authorization functionality. So we have like covered end-to-end flow, like how to authenticate the user, how to create the JWT token, how to use that JWT token, and how to decode that JWT token, and how to like perform the authorization, like which user can like perform which action, right? So we have like perform like all the things, and our code is like ready. So but we have like implemented two put methods. So you have to just like put everything here just like before this item, because in this put method, rather than like a JSON enabled like encoder, we are using the underscore dict. So everything will be the remain same. You have to just copy paste. So I am not like doing this, because otherwise the video will be very long. So everything will be remain same, or otherwise you can even delete this method too, because we have already like one put method, right? So yeah, so that's the end of the video. Thank you.